So a crucial vote, though, in the French Parliament later that is set to explode the current French government. Lawmakers voting on no-confidence motions from both the left and the far right against Prime Minister Michel Barnier's government. That after he pushed through the French budget for next year on Monday using a little-used constitutional process, a deep political crisis ahead that appears that the government is less and less likely to avoid. Well, Michel Barnier spoke on French television last night. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm still in listening mode, and if I have to remain as Prime Minister, not for myself, but to try and continue to serve, I tell you again that my door will be open. I'm ready to work with all political groups to improve, because this budget is not perfect. There are still possible discussions on the finance bill, and there are many subjects for afterwards, for the next 6 months.
Michel Barnier there. Well, with me here on set is Clovis Casali. He's going to be at the French National Assembly reporting on that for us this afternoon as that debate and vote happens. Clovis, first of all, I mean, it's pretty chaotic, isn't it, how we've got to this point, as it were?
Yeah, it's set to be a very busy day today at the National Assembly. Animosity for sure. Why? Because the French government is almost certain to be toppled. The president of the National Rally, the French far-right party, Jordan Bardella, this morning said it again. He will back this vote of no confidence, a motion of no confidence. He'll join the left wing in trying to get Michel Barnier out of office, force this government to collapse. Even though it has to be said, this motion of no confidence, one has been put forward by the French far right, another one by the left wing bloc. And the left-wing bloc in the text actually said they were asking for the government to leave because the French Prime Minister was going too far on immigration with this vile obsession. Those are the words on immigration. And that was a clear sneer at the French far right. Still, the French far right said, despite those words, we will vote the text put forward by the left wing. So today, against all, I mean, it's very unlikely that Michel Barnier will survive this vote. He tried all he could with that interview yesterday. And the French President Emmanuel Macron, who's currently in Saudi Arabia, also saying that he can't imagine the government collapsing. It would be irresponsible on behalf of all MPs to vote this, and it would spark chaos. When you talk to the French far right, when you talk to the left, they say that the chaos was caused by President Macron calling snap elections last summer.
Yeah, so assuming it does happen this afternoon, the government falls, I mean, what on earth happens next?
That's the question, because the last time a government collapsed after in a similar situation was back in 1962 with a motion of no confidence, and at the time it was Georges Pompidou. What happens? No power vacuum. There will be an interim government, Michel Barnier, until the French president finds a suitable candidate, the next prime minister. The rumour is it could be centrist figure François Bayrou or the defence minister Le Cornu. Those are just a couple of names. What we do know is that Emmanuel Macron has been consulting, meeting with figures in recent days because he knew this the government could collapse any moment. And so we shouldn't be waiting 50 days like last time before getting a new prime minister. What's interesting here also, again, is that the far right really has the government's fate in its hands. Marine Le Pen more powerful than ever. Remember that this time they've got 124 MPs. It's so much more than in previous years. A few years ago, you would have asked us, can the National Rally get into power, play this role of kingmaker? We would have all said it's unthinkable. And that's why we looked at this issue with Gaël Fonseca. We did a report for the show Reporters that's currently on France 24 on air. It's called The National Rally at the Gates of Power. Here's a clip of it. The National Rally has tightened its grip in recent years on the Alpes-Maritimes. Their opponents seem nowadays less vocal, possibly the sign of a sense of resignation. We're filming a report on the National Rally. What do you think of them?
Nothing, you can keep it.
The far right stands more than ever at the gates of power. In 2017, it had 8 MPs at the National Assembly. The figure has now jumped to 125. They can also count on the support of a breakaway group from Les Républicains party. In the last general election, Marine Le Pen struck an alliance with Éric Ciotti, who was then the leader of the mainstream Conservative Party. It led to the implosion of Les Républicains, and the move helped Ciotti get re-elected MP. it brought equal success to one of his right-hand men, Bartholomé Lenoir in the Creuse. This department in the centre of France is very rural and traditionally a left-wing bastion. Lenoir visits farmers who proudly show him their cattle. For the right-wing MP, one thing is clear. The far left and the Green Party represent a real threat.
Farmers in the Creuse are under attack from the Green Party and so-called environmentalists. These people, they say we should stop eating meat. What they don't realise is that these farmers are the essence of French identity. If that goes away, well, it's all over for our nation.
It's complicated with the ecologists because we can't accept some things they say.
I don't know what their vision is. They should come live with us for a week and then maybe they'd stop talking nonsense.
Rural France feels largely misunderstood and forgotten by politicians. The MP says he wants to give them a voice and that the alliance with the far right is the only path to victory.
Life is becoming worse and worse, and nothing changes. I believe there's a need for something radically different. We need right-wing unity to offer a real choice. The National Rally is not what it used to be. Those who say they're shocked by our alliance aren't really right-wing in my mind, because the National Rally is very respectable nowadays.
In June's European elections, the National Rally finished first in all but 15 of the 256 Creuse municipalities. So that's, of course, a clip from our 13-minute-long report that you can find on social media, on our website, and it's also on air. What's interesting here also is that the people we meet tell us we don't care if the National Rally is seen as far-right, nationalist, anti-European. We just want change. We've tried all mainstream parties in the past, and our livelihoods haven't improved. We're now in a situation where we're struggling to make ends meet, electricity's more expensive, food's more expensive, everything's more expensive, and we're not getting better salaries. And that's across French society for the past 10, 15 years. And therefore, we need change. Those farmers you saw in the Creuse, desperate to make ends meet, and they say, we're ready to try anything. So it's not just about embracing far-right values or National Rally's manifesto. It's also about saying, we want something different, we want something radical, and that's why Bartholomé Lenoir, that MP from the former mainstream Les Républicains, also said, we need to offer a radical choice, something really different. Would they bring something very different or radically different if they were in place? That remains to be seen. Take a look at what Giorgia Meloni is doing in Italy. She's not that radical, and she's had to moderate a lot of her policies and act more mainstream, if you will.